Hey there friends! Today in this video we're going to tell you about the 5 benefits or byproducts, 5 of them, by establishing your core values and living by them.
Right, and we struggled with this for a really long time, especially these first two. We really struggled to make decisions quickly, and we struggled with our reaction to things. And so the first two reasons to develop your core values are to make better decisions, right? Number one. And number two is to improve your reactions. So we'll dive deeper and tell you why, but Lance will do that.
Well, what's really important about establishing core values, and what I love about our core values, is that we have them as a family. I know a lot of people establish core values as an individual, yes, but I think we've gotten a lot out of establishing core values as a couple and as a family. And what's really important about that, and the number one benefit, or the first benefit in establishing and living by your core values, is to make better decisions and more quick decisions, right?
Right.
Because when somebody asks you maybe to do something and you're not sure if you should say yes or no, or even if you're thinking about doing something, you're not sure if you should do it or not, if you look at the values you've established, it makes it a lot easier to actually decide whether or not you should actually do the thing you're thinking about doing.
Right, and there's this term called decision fatigue. You know, in this day and age, we're moving so fast. There's so many things to decide. What am I having for breakfast? What am I going to wear today? Where are the kids going? Are the kids going to do soccer today? Are they right, all these things. Am I going to do date night? There's so many things that we have coming at us to make decisions around. And so having these core values established softens that and makes it a lot easier for us to go through our days and make those little decisions that compound and overwhelm us quicker.
Yeah, you become more clear-headed. I think it's like, oh, right, I have clarity because I have these values of which I can, measure that decision on.
Exactly.
So the second, did you have more to that?
No, that's
all right,
it.
Cool. Yeah. The second benefit of establishing and living by core values is better reaction. Like, you just react better.
Right, because if I say that it is a core value, which one of ours is kindness.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be honest. I'm just going to choose to deliver it with kindness because that matters to me. Then I can check in and react kinder. And the more I am in line and connected to my core values, the more frequently I react that way. But for a long time, reaction was a bad one for me. Real.
Well,
it's like,
Right, because it allows you to sort of take the emotional charge out of the situation, right? Like, you can almost use your values to reflect on what it is that is going on.
Becomes a compass.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. Almost like a moral compass, really. Like, here are my values, and how am I going to react to the situation based on the values I've, established.
Right. And we've talked a lot about just practicing, right? That's what this is. It's like you establish the values, and then you practice, and then you practice, and then you practice.
So the third benefit number 3 of establishing and living by your core values, is avoiding distractions. Oh, distractions.
Yes, I love to use the example of the moment I put that app on my phone that said where I was spending my time.
Oh, yeah.
And so I get this report at the end of the first week. And it was this ridiculous, embarrassing amount of time that I was spending on Instagram was what? But it was like social media. And for me, it was Instagram. And I started looking at our core values and in our weekly check-in, and I'm like, no, I have more time than I think if I am aligned with our values and not my impulse.
I used to have this thing in my office that said, is this the best thing you could be doing right now?
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, if I look at my values,
the answer's no. Yeah.
No.
Get
Well,
off
let me
Instagram.
do something else. Right.
Yeah.
Get off scrolling through Instagram.
Yeah.
Although hopefully you're watching this video.
On Instagram.
Right. So, benefit number 4 would be to increase your confidence.
Yes.
Improve your confidence.
I think this was a big one for you.
Yeah, the nice thing about having, I had to reflect. I'm reflecting on the values, right? And how
I'm looking at you, I'm like, I'm so confident. Not a problem. How about you?
The way to frame this is really around you knowing what you value. And when
Yeah.
you act and are aligned with what you value, then you become more confident because you care more about what is important to you, and you stop
And you
worrying
know.
and you stop worrying about
Yes.
what other people think about what you value. And
Right.
so when that happens, there's a shift, right?
Conviction.
Right. This
Yeah.
is what I stand for, and
Yes.
by golly, I'd curse in real person, but
Just said by golly.
you just you grow that confidence, you improve
Right.
that confidence by having those values and saying this is what's important to me, and going after it.
Right.
So benefit number 5 is to increase your happiness or your fulfillment.
Yeah.
And this is sort of, to me, like a coup de grace when you're doing all these other 4
Just
big
gonna say
words.
compound effect.
Yeah. But when those other 4 are really kind of in place, you just feel more fulfilled, and you're happier knowing that you're reacting better, you're making better decisions, you're more confident, you're avoiding all those distractions, and you feel more fulfilled in life.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So-
Overall.
Overall.
Yeah.
And so those are the 5 byproducts and benefits of establishing and living by your core values. And in the next video, we're actually going to teach you how to establish those core values, because I think a lot of people, and then when you start to bring it in as a couple, that you want to co-create these values.
And as a family.
And as a family, it can be a little daunting to figure out, well, how do we do this together? How do we decide how we're going to establish these values? And then how are we going to learn how to live and be aligned by those values?